What is going on, guys? It's KingIntensity here, and with all the surrounding problems in Battlefield 4, I think one of the biggest problems that is in the game currently, other than the terrible netcode, is a lot of the unbalancing issues with the game regarding vehicles, commander mode, grenades, and a bunch of other different things. I actually have an entire list here of things I think really need to be rebalanced and kind of fixed a bit so that the game is a lot more fun. And I think in this video, a lot of these things should be changed or even taken out completely, would make this game more enjoyable and more fun. So the very first thing I want to talk about is helicopters. And I don't know if any of you guys have tried to fly the attack helicopter lately, but if you have, then you know how hard it is to fly it without getting shot down almost immediately. First off, there's the anti-air tank. That thing, as soon as you leave the ground, that thing's just going to gun you down and you're going to blow up without even getting 10 feet across the battlefield. And next up we got the Little Bird, which compared to the attack helicopter in air-to-air combat is way overpowered. I mean, the miniguns on that thing will just tear that thing to shreds, and when you have the inaccurate missiles to fire at the Little Bird, it just doesn't stand a chance. You're just going to get torn up. And especially with all these new DLC, the anti-air mines, those things should have never been put into the game. As if the attack helicopter hadn't been underpowered enough, they decided to go throw in some anti-air mines just to make things worse. So honestly, those shouldn't have been put into the game. They should probably take them out. I know DICE probably won't, but really they should, because those things just wreck. Also, they really need to take out the Shra. I know it's kind of a part of the game now, but really it needs to be taken out, because pretty much any engineer on the ground with a decent line of sight can take out any helicopter that they look at, and it's just really overpowered. I know it's really fun to use sometimes, but really it just shouldn't have been put into the game, and I kind of wish they take it out at some point. The next thing I want to talk about is commander mode and some of the problems underlying that. And the very first thing is the Tomahawk missile is way overpowered. I mean, it looks really cool, it's really stunning when you take out a vehicle and you see a big explosion, it looks really cool, but after you get hit with that thing 2 or 3 times in a single game, it just gets really annoying. Like, I've been playing like Obliteration or something, and if the commander knows where the guy is with the bomb, he just flattens that entire area. Anyone surrounding or defending the actual bomb carrier is just flattened, everyone dies, and really it's just not very fun. I mean, in a game like Obliteration or maybe some smaller game types, then it's just really overpowered and it's just not very fun. Especially when there's some dude on his iPad just kind of tapping away at his screen, sending in cruise missiles everywhere he wants to. It's just not really good. Shouldn't have really been put into the game. Second thing about commander mode is the UAVs. And especially on the game mode of Rush, the UAVs pretty much pave over the entire map, revealing everybody's position. And really, I think it just takes out the entire strategy of the game. I mean, like, there's no way to really counter a UAV. Once you're under the UAV's influence, then you're pretty much spotted for everyone to see you. And especially in a game mode like Rush, when everyone's in a really concentrated area, everyone's trying to be strategic and sneak around a little bit, it just doesn't happen, because once the commander taps away and sends in his UAV, everybody on the map is just painted right there in bright red, and everyone can see you, and it's just kind of sucks for everybody on the ground. I mean, it's great for the other team and the commander, but once you're under that, it just really sucks, and that is probably something that should be fixed. Another imbalance with the commander mode is when only one other team has a commander, and at that point, the game just kind of falls apart when someone's calling in AC-130s or Tomahawk missiles and constant UAVs are just flying over the map, and there's no other commander to really counter that. That's when the game really starts to suck, is when there's a terrible imbalance in teams when only one team has a commander. Then I'm sure you've probably experienced this before, but I think DICE needs to change it to where it's like you can only join a game, or you have to you have to wait until another commander joins or something like that, until so it's kind of more balanced in that way. So at least we can have 2 commanders instead of 1 that is pretty much dominating for the other team. The next thing I want to talk about is grenades, and some of you are probably like, okay, the grenades are fine, what are you talking about? But I don't know if you guys ever use the frag grenade anymore, because it's kind of been the standard grenade in Battlefields up until this point, and pretty much now everybody uses the Argo impacts, which I think are really overpowered in my opinion. I mean, you get 2 of them for one thing, and they explode as soon as you throw them at something, and they pretty much kill on contact, so I think they're really overpowered in my opinion. And some of the other grenades, like maybe flares and flashbangs, no one really cares for those. Flares are kind of useful for blinding people. Flashbangs don't really work too well, so I really don't see a whole lot of people using those. And another thing about grenades is, this really applies to PC players, but if you're playing, say, let's take Operation Locker for example, and maybe you're playing on a 64-man or even a 32-man server, and it's just grenade central. Every single person in that game is throwing V40 minis, and they're just everywhere, blowing you up, and then you just get these massive screen shakes. And that's another thing, is the grenades and the screen shaking, it really just bugs the crap out of me. And really, I think they should kind of take that out of the game itself. I mean, it's just so disorienting, and it just like throws off your aim so much to get hit by a grenade. And then you get a follow-up of 3 more grenades like that, and you're pretty much just done. You can't aim for crap. You're not going to be able to shoot anyone, and it's just really tiring at that point. The next thing I want to talk about, and my final point I want to make, is rush. And I feel like after Battlefield 3, rush just sort of died out with Battlefield 4. And Battlefield 4 is sort of more oriented for conquest, and I think they really have made conquest what it is in Battlefield 4. It's really fun. It's a lot more fun in my opinion than it was in Battlefield 3, but they also sort of killed off rush in that transition. For one thing, I can't really think of any good maps that are really fun on rush for Battlefield 4, and it's really hard to find good servers that are actually fun to play on. And the MCOM placement on most of the maps is just terrible, and it doesn't really look like they put a whole lot of thought into it. I mean, it's just kind of a little sloppy layout. It's like the MCOM placement, like I said, is terrible, and the map layout and where you go inside the map itself, it's just really not fun. And even on some of the maps, the teams themselves are really unbalanced, and some of the vehicle placement and some of the teams that actually get the vehicles, that's really unbalanced too. Like sometimes you'll be on a map where the defenders, all they have is a couple quads, and then the attackers have like LAVs and tanks. And sometimes that gets really annoying too when you're trying to defend, and then the attackers are just sort of paving over you, going through the entire map. And then there's other maps where the defenders just sort of defend the entire time, and really there's no way the attackers are going to win. So I think in Battlefield 3 they did it right. There was a lot of fun maps to play it on, like Dam Up on Peak, Grand Bazaar, and they did it right in Battlefield 3. And I think if they sort of redid the maps and replaced the MCOMs in Battlefield 4, I think they could make it a little bit more successful and kind of bring back that enjoyment that people had in Battlefield 3. Another annoying thing that I kind of mentioned earlier in this video is there's really no more flanking due to the commander mode, and Jack Frags actually talked about this in one of his recent videos regarding the rush sort of falling away. He kind of talked about how commander mode, when people would send in UAVs, it just basically paints everybody on the map. You can kind of see everyone. It sort of ruins that idea that you can kind of strategically play the rush maps and sort of flank around without anyone knowing where you are. But then with the commander mode and sending in UAVs, really it just kind of ruins the entire strategy to the game. I mean, there's no strategy after you're painted by a UAV. The entire enemy team knows where you are. It's just not good. They should really take out commander mode completely from rush itself, and I think that right there would be a massive improvement. So guys, I'm pretty much done with this video. That's just some of the things that have kind of been bothering me. But honestly, if you want my honest opinion, I completely love Battlefield 4. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't make videos for it, and I wouldn't even play it. And there's so many more good things about this game than bad things. I really don't like to focus on bad things a whole lot. I just kind of want to put all these imbalances out there so people can see them and kind of give options that maybe might work to fix them. So honestly, I really do love this game. I love playing it. The game is a whole lot of fun, but I think DICE really needs to tip the scales here. So anyways guys, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, leave all your feedback below, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys later.